It wasn't recorded on here. That's funny.
I'm going to leave you.
For the next 60 minutes of...
Okay, folks. For the next 60 minutes, I'm going to leave you with some nice, soft rock.
There you go. All right, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go.
All right,
guys, guess what? I got my hometown freaking friend I've known forever. So we'll start out. This is my buddy Brandon. Literally, I've known you since like Little League Baseball.
That's right.
I've known you a long time. Give him a little brief background of who you are.
All right. Well, my name is Brandon, and I have the channel SV Thunder Road. It is my
over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
Danielle will be proud of me. There you
Danielle,
go.
you're here in the spirit of us.
You're the first ever guest on this podcast. I'm pumped.
I'm honored to be here.
I'm pumped.
I love what you've done with the place.
Appreciate it.
This studio is awesome. I mean, it's legit. I feel like I am in straight up like a legit. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying.
Well, the one thing that makes it not legit is cold. It's like 30 degrees outside. Guys, we are doing this for you. So, you have SV Thunder Road, and if you guys didn't watch the live chat on the Crockers, go back and watch that. You kind of touched a little bit on how you came up with the name. I was very curious of like the name. I wanted to ask you, and like in hopes, I was hoping one day we'd be able to sit down and talk. It's been 7 years, 8 years. It's been a long time. To say I'm pumped is an understatement about this and this, you being here, and I mean it's been a long time, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. This one is sponsored by Ashley Creations.
I love it.
So yeah, your wife made some koozies.
She did, yeah, and the SDR unofficial. Maybe official. SDR koozies, the new logo, and improved SDR koozies.
Yeah, which is crazy. So Danielle and I were talking, and we were like, we need some new logo, or we need new koozies with our new logo, this and that. And then we're going live, and you surprised me. I have no idea. And I pull it out, and I see the bottom, I'm like, oh, it's a koozie, but I thought it was like your old band koozie or something, to be like, oh, like old times, you know. And then I saw the bottom, and I was like, it took me a minute to realize, like, you got our logo and made koozies. How did you pull this off? They're so clean, and like it looks like I gave you the logo. Like I give you props. Well, Ashley, I guess
it's all in my wife.
I give her props, man. Speaking of that, like this is the first time I'm hanging out with you. You're married. Like
that's right.
Yeah, you were just dating back then. Like you're married. Like you had a whole COVID wedding. Like craziness. Yeah, craziness.
We got married in Lake Tahoe, California, and 2 years ago.
Yeah,
or was it a year ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Ashley, don't watch this. What made you pick that place?
I think just the seclusion, the beauty of the place, you know.
Have y'all been there before?
No,
it was just somewhere y'all wanted to go?
Yeah, wanted to go, and also Ashley and I are huge Star Wars fans.
Yeah. She's got tattoos, right?
She does.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we're both huge Star Wars fans, and Empire Strikes Back, or not Empire, Return of the Jedi. Oh, the speeder scenes in the forest.
Yeah,
that was all done.
So what's crazy is Danielle's aunt lives out there, and I believe her uncle does forest management stuff out there in that. And she posts pictures on Facebook, and I'm like, I need to take my camera and go do videos. She's like, oh yeah, Star Wars was filmed here, this and that. So like, yeah, it makes sense, makes perfect sense. So Brandon, I've known him again since like T-ball. We could tell stories to get me canceled. We could go way back. I would like to kind of first off, I thought my ADD brain. I want everyone to know the skull is centered in the wall. It's the horns that look weird and it throws it off. I measured, but it looks like it's not centered. But everyone was like, "Could you please center the skull?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I noticed the same thing.
And I don't know if it was the way my camera was or what, or maybe I measured wrong. I'll go back and measure.
The horns look a little.
Yeah, but I do know like the horns are different. I mean, they're not going to be perfect. It's a real skull, so it's off. So I just want to put that out there for everybody. This might be a little off too, but we working on it, man. We working just a little. yeah.
What are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Record.
So like there's just different things you could do on there. This thing's freaking awesome. Yeah, you gotta like get that like just tap. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Danielle is very proud of you right now. But yeah, we've known each other forever. And if you jumped in the live chat, y'all saw that your dad jumped in. I thought that was really freaking cool. Awesome.
My mom was in there.
Yeah,
I didn't even know she had a YouTube account.
Yeah. What do you What does like your wife and your parents think of like YouTube or any of this type of stuff? Because you're newer into it. You're a younger channel, and you hit 1,000 subs, maybe even 2,000 by the time this comes out. Who knows? Yeah. What do they think of it?
They are supportive of Thunder Road. They what was I?
You could be real with it.
Yeah, they're supportive. They are a little worried about
if you try to do full time.
What? So I work a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Office type.
You've
job.
been there how long?
I've been at the beginning of next year will be the start of my 17th year.
Dang.
Yeah.
And you started in the mail room, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Mail room, worked in the file room, which is non-existent anymore. We don't have physical files anywhere.
Dang.
I worked that I'm that old.
That job's gone now. Yeah. That's great. We are getting older. Mm-hmm. We are, you're a year older than I am. How old are you?
I think I'm 2 years older.
How old are you right now?
38.
38. Okay, I'm 37, but it's like a year and months.
Yeah, I'll be 39 in April.
Yeah, so you were 2 grades ahead of. Yeah, there was a grade between us, and we have like a mutual best friend. I guess I'd call him that. Our mutual best friend, Austin, and y'all were in a band together. And I got his first guitar, or one of his first guitars. Like we were a very close group of people that hung. We used to play paintball together. We did it all.
Yeah,
and I don't.
I have to stop you and remember we were playing paintball.
Was it with
our Oscar? Was that his name?
Oh, Medellin. Oscar Medellin. Okay, yeah. I don't know where this story is going yet. I'm going to tell you a story and see. Yeah.
So it was on your
at our ranch.
Your ranch.
We went out there. We spent like the weekend or something.
Stayed at that,
okay,
we stayed at the house.
Yeah,
it's the house that you like converted. Right?
Yeah. If y'all have been watching the Crockers for a while, it's the house we fixed up. But it was rough back then. It was rough.
Yeah. We were just little kids like sleeping on the floor in that building, but doing a whole paintball weekend. It was that was really cool.
I forgot about that. And Oscar had his little brother with him.
Austin's little brother.
No, Oscar's brother.
Oscar,
his little brother.
Yeah. Do you remember
the raccoon?
What happened that night?
Oh, the night?
Yeah.
When my dad came in?
Well, Austin did.
Like shot at my dad and stuff.
I forgot your dad came in.
Wait, did he try to fight? Is that what? I don't know what you're talking. He tried to fight Oscar's brother.
There was a lot
that
went on here. There was a fight. Your dad came in. Do you know what Austin did?
Like shot my dad with paintball guns. Yeah. Oh man,
I remember Austin did something.
Yeah.
To Oscar's little brother.
Yeah, and he was a little hothead. Oscar's brother, little hothead.
He like poured water on him or something in the middle of the night.
Our buddy Austin, he's like a little prankster. Like he's always doing funny stuff.
Yeah, and he poured water on him or something, and then ran over to his bed, and then you just hear like moving around. And then Oscar, what was his name, his little brother's name?
Oscar and Sevi.
Sevi?
Yeah, Savetl.
Savetl.
Yeah.
Savetl, like you hear him like moving around in this blanket, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
And we're in high school,
where everybody is just like laying in their beds, like trying not to laugh. He's just like, what the fuck?
I remember, like, because we were playing paintball. Like, paintball was all the rage back then, and we were. I don't remember the full story. Maybe you know, but I remember like my dad kind of like getting in the middle of it, and it was like dark or something. And Austin's like shooting at my dad with paintballs. I don't remember why. Like my dad like came in, but like I just remember like. I don't think he hit my dad, but like he shot at him, like just being a dumb kid, you know, just like whatever. But oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's something I thought about recently.
Oh man, so now I thought the story. So do you remember when we did paintball at Austin's house and we had like it was like an old corral, we put metal up and we had like a little fort or whatever. Do you remember Lancaster? I don't remember his name. I remember his first name. Last name was Lancaster.
Chris
Lancaster.
Yeah.
He was going to join like the military or something.
Yeah, I think he did.
And yeah, he did. And we had it where like he came out and played. I feel bad about this. I can't believe I'm about to tell this, but it happened. And I remember him like kind of like talking trash, being like he thought he was gonna like get us all, like snipe us and this and that. And I remember he was kind of like talking trash, and we're all just like dorky high school kids, you know, just like we think we're cool, but we're not, like that type of thing. And we put him in like this little like shed thing next to like the whole corral that we made, like the fort. And he was in there. We're like, hide in here. And then we're like, we'll have him come around and then you can shoot him. Do you remember? And we set it up to where he got ambushed, and they came and just lit him up. I mean, lit him up. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I remember that.
We're kind of bad people, I
poor
guess.
guy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
We shouldn't talk bad about people.
Yeah, but it happened, you know. So I do want to kind of jump in a little bit on your YouTube stuff. So I remember, you know, like I was doing YouTube and stuff, and I don't remember exactly why. I don't remember if I said something to you or you just started YouTube on your own. I don't remember why you started the YouTube journey, but I remember you did like some stuff on your truck and stuff like that, and it got good. It got like 10,000 views or something. It got like a good amount of views.
Yeah, like one of my first videos that I ever posted it's got like 10,000 views.
Yeah, which is crazy. And that's kind of like how my start was. Like I posted a video and like the first one did like pretty well. And I remember that. And then I remember you got your boat, and I was just like pumped that you were like posting videos and stuff. And we grew up like, you know, we're both dyslexic. We were finding this out.
Yeah.
You know, we're both dyslexic. We both kind of had the same mindset when it came to like music. We played guitar and like, you know, or bands and stuff, and like would write music and stuff like that. And so when you
know, an interesting story about dyslexia, not to cut you off.
No, I don't care.
So I'm in a Toastmasters program in
tell
my
them
work.
about that, like what that was.
So Toastmasters is a speech program, a communication speech program where you just learn to give speeches and speak in front of people.
Yeah.
And you know, off the cuff like things.
Kind of like this. Kind of just talking. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's a guy that's in my club. And so part of Toastmasters is it's different levels, yeah. And you kind of start out like your first speech is called the icebreaker speech, and it is what it is. It's the icebreaker, and you can talk about anything, everything, whatever.
Just trying to get you start talking.
Just come to us and tell us about yourself, whatever.
Is there a certain amount of time you have to fill?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to do a 5 minute
That'd be a little scary.
Speech. Yeah. You got to do a 5-minute speech. And so it starts there and then it just keeps progressing and progressing. And you get to a certain level about halfway in where there's a lot of self-reflection, where you have to give a speech on what type of communicator do you think you are? And there's different types of communicators. And you have to really look inside yourself and think like, well, I've never actually thought about that. What kind of communicator am I?
Yeah.
And in the next speech, leadership. What type of leader are you? And there's all sorts of different types of leadership styles.
Yeah.
You know, what type of leadership style do you think that you have? And there's a whole bunch of self-reflection in there. Like, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
How do I lead people?
Starts putting stuff in perspective.
Do I even lead people? Am I a leader?
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. Am I a leader?
Yeah.
I forgot where we were going with bringing it up to. Oh, okay, dyslexia.
I'll say we're old.
Yeah. So I had to give a speech I gave a speech about being dyslexic, and it was based around my communication style and how I had to develop a certain type of communication style and why.
Yeah.
Is because I was dyslexic. So the crux of the speech was all based around dyslexia.
Yeah.
And to give a speech to people that you work with and telling people, hey, I have
Like a downfall.
Not I want to say disability, but not, I mean, I don't know.
It's not really a positive thing.
Yeah. You know, you're revealing something
Yeah.
to people that are kind of strangers. You know, you work with them. But what's interesting is this guy that's in the club with me, his son is dyslexic.
Oh, wow.
And he came to me after the speech and was like, I'm really glad you gave that speech. Like, my son is dyslexic. And I talked about things, how, you know, struggles growing up and just dealing with things like doing homework.
Yeah.
How difficult it was.
We talked about this
for
last
people
night.
Like us.
Like you even said, you were
just-
like, I was in tears. Couldn't even do my homework.
You don't understand
You feel stupid.
how.
Yeah.
It's some people.
Hey,
It's,
you're not stupid.
they don't get it. Oh, am I not? Do you really mean that?
It's the top one.
I just blew that one.
It's all good.
But no, and he was just telling me like, I'm really glad you like said these things, and it gave him a better perspective, and it could give him a better approach, or give him a better way to approach his son with, you know, dyslexia.
Yeah.
And he told me, he'd be like, yeah, he would go do homework and he'd come out of his room, he'd be crying, and we'd be like, just, you got to do it. You got to do your homework.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't know he was dyslexic at the time, and they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And that was something I talked about in my speech. And it was just really like filled me up.
Yeah.
You know, like to hear him be like, thank you for like sharing a piece of your story.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's stuff like that like, you know, on, you know, doing Coffee with the Crockers or the podcast or even the Crockers, I try to put myself out there because it shows people like, we're not all perfect. We're not your normal person. Like, it's okay to be different. You just have to like learn to like adapt and figure things out. And, you know, we talked about it. It's like, it's not the fact that you can't do something. You just have to figure out a different way, a different approach. Like, all right, you have to start thinking differently. And I think that's why, like, I do things. I'm not your average mold when it comes to especially like this type of YouTube stuff. Like, I'm not your average like person that does the same stuff. And it's like, I've always had to figure out a different way to do something, but I never knew how to explain it to anybody. And I never I remember back in the day, I'm not doing good in school, you know, this and that. And like Jared always did fine. And I'm sure my parents were like, we're gonna have to hold him back. Like there's something wrong. And I did like a Hooked on Phonics class after school. And I was like, if anyone ever found out, I would die. Like I would just die. And I found out later, like it's like a blessing in disguise or whatever you want to call it, because it made me think different. It made me, like we were talking about, you have to think outside the box. You have to get creative. You have to do stuff like that. And like, as far as like when it come down to like doing video work or doing anything, like it made me think differently than people. And like, I think that's what gives me I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, it's like a disability or what. No, it's like a superpower. That's
exactly what I'd say.
It makes it to where it's like, I'm different than you, and I have this.
Dyslexia is a superpower.
Yeah, like you have this ability to like get into a different part of your brain that other people don't know how to tap into. And it's, at first, as a younger age, I didn't understand it, and I'd be like, what's wrong with me? Now I'm like, hell yeah, like I got this extra like thing that like makes me think differently. And I would like to think that's why it helped me get to where I'm at, because I had to think outside the box. And it's just weird, like the older you get, the more you realize different things with life. But to hear the story of like you giving that speech, and the person you work with can now talk to their son, that could change their whole dynamic. Because you were vulnerable, and you told him, well, you told the whole group about this, and he's thinking, my kid's like this. Now he knows how to relate to his kid more, which can make the relationship better, rather than being like, quit being lazy, quit thinking you're just going to try to get out of this by crying or whatever. It's like, oh, well, what's going on?
Or thinking my kid is never going to be able to have a normal job.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it's stuff like that you never know how what you do that day that you're vulnerable, but it's going to help someone out. And I'm a big believer in like, I really think everything happens for a reason. And sometimes you have to be vulnerable to help somebody. And like, I listen to podcasts, watch videos, stuff like that. And like most of social media is fake. Most of it's like filtered photos. I'm just only going to show you.
Not me, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. There ain't no filter that can help that. Yeah. No, but like most of it's fake. It's like no one really shows the struggles. No one really shows all the stuff. But like to be vulnerable, you can help a lot of people. And like, you were probably nervous to give that speech.
Yeah, no. And I never thought, somebody was going to come up to me afterwards and be like, thank you for giving that speech. That's going to help my relationship with my son.
That's wild.
Like, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's wild.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think like just how little things can do that. Like even tonight, like we did the live chat, and we ended and we were like, we're back, like yeah, like we're just like on this high, like a natural high. Yeah, and you were like, I wasn't gonna say anything because I didn't want I feel like I don't want to be like, do you want to do a podcast? Go over there, sit in the cold and talk, and then you're like, hey, did you want to do a podcast? I'm like, yes, like let's do this.
I'm nervous to ask.
Oh no,
do you want to do a podcast? Because I don't want to come across as like, like kind of like what we were talking about earlier about we were kind of hitting on people taking advantage of others, and things like that. So
that's something too that like I don't mind jumping into this, like because I would love to get like your perspective on how you feel and stuff. Like as far as you two goes, like I've been through everything. Oh my gosh, I've been used and abused, and I help people and they take advantage of it. Like they'll see me as a dollar sign, they'll see me as like a subscriber count, they'll see me stuff. And right before we went live, we were talking, and you're like, I was like, hey, if you ever want to come out here, if you want to do, I was like, if you want to start a podcast and do some stuff here, like whatever you want to do, like I'm cool with. Like, we're homies. We've lived it together. Like we've been through a lot and stuff. And I was like, you were like, yeah, I don't ever want you to think I'm taking advantage of you. And it's like, I know you, man. Like I know where your heart is. I know you got good intentions and stuff. And it's hard being on YouTube because like, you will get people that take advantage of you. You will get stuff. And it's very hard to find good, positive people to surround yourself with, people that you trust. And like, as like we were talking and stuff, like the older you get, the like your circle becomes real small. You don't really see your friends as much. Like we're still like if you called me, like we haven't seen each other 7 years ish.
Yeah. Haven't spoken.
Yeah.
Like
we'll text and stuff.
Yeah, text and stuff.
Like
not physically
Yeah,
hear
I haven't
each
heard
other's
your voice in
Yeah.
forever, man.
It's so good to hear your voice.
Yeah. But yeah, we haven't, like, we just both know, like, we have our lives, we're doing stuff, you know, that type of, you know, thing. And, like, it's just, like, I know if something went down and I was like, Brandon, I need you, man. I need help. I need this. Like, you'd be up here.
I'm right there.
And if you, it's the same thing. If you're like, say you were driving somewhere and you broke down, you'd be like, man, I hate to buy it, but I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way it is. Like, you just have certain people, and with YouTube and stuff, like, you know, you kind of get taken advantage of and this and that. And I'm curious, like, with your perspective of it, like, you know, you're starting YouTube and stuff, and like, clearly we're doing like a podcast. It's on YouTube. Like, how do you, like, what's your perspective? Like, cause like with you saying like, man, I don't want you to think I'm ever taking advantage of you. Like, I never thought that. Like, what made you say that? Like, what made you think that?
I mean, I guess it's maybe just, I don't know. Maybe it's because that's just who I am and how I think about things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very want to get things done on my own.
Yeah.
Do them myself.
Yeah.
You know, into the idea of growing SV Thunder Road, the channel, with just overnight 20,000 subs.
Yeah.
Because you did something or said something or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that I just wouldn't, I don't know. I guess I'm very protective of our friendship.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, I think
shit, that makes
I
me
think
feel
that's-
good, man.
I think that's what it is. you
Yeah,
know?
and I think-
like, I just don't want business or
To
like
ruin
money,
anything, yeah.
or trying to get popular.
well, that's why
or
you're on the
something
podcast,
like
right? This makes $1 million an
yeah.
episode. Like, we're balling, baby. Yeah. But like, that's good to hear. Like, there's been so many times, like, I've done stuff for people, and like, I mean, we were talking about stuff, like stuff that I've done for other YouTubers and helped them and this and that. And it's like it feels good to know that like I can actually tell you something. If it was like, hey, like, if you want this or whatever, like, I genuinely feel like I could help you and I'm not going to get taken advantage of. And unfortunately, in the world we live in, like, that's not normal anymore. Like, it's just like a lot of people will do whatever it takes to like.
It's good to know that you know you reciprocate.
Yeah.
The same.
And I think it is because of our background, our history and stuff. And I mean, they're like,
It goes deep.
I was gonna
dog.
say we could talk for hours, and like, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that understand my intentions. I don't think people realize, like,
I would absolutely agree with that.
yeah. And so,
I see the comments.
I was about to say, as an outside perspective, we haven't talked in years, but like, you kind of watch some of the YouTube stuff, like, you've seen comments, stuff like that. Like, what's your take? You can be as real as you want, man.
I mean, what's my take? It's just it's just interesting being a viewer, you know, just like everybody right now is like listening, watching, whatever. You're a viewer, I'm a viewer, and seeing. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah,
and that's a problem
Yeah,
that I tend to have.
that's how I am. But like, so like, you're like, you have a different perspective. Like, you actually know like the history.
Yeah, I know
stuff.
you. You know, I've known you forever. So it's just I've seen you. I was there when you made that first jump from YouTube is going to be the thing. You know, you were washing airplanes. You were doing the dog
picking up
thing.
dog crap. Yeah.
And then started doing like YouTube, and then there was a shift where it was just you're going all out. You're doing it, and I wasn't surprised that you're successful. You know, that you've managed to get to where you're at. Like that plaque right there.
Yeah.
Dude, that plaque is awesome. I want one of those plaques. Like that is a goal right there. And you have one of those YouTube plaques.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And it's so cool to have a friend that is successful, and is doing something that they love.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's wild, man. Yeah. Like I never I never thought it would get to that point. Like when I first started YouTube, I wasn't expecting it to be like, I'm going to do this. Like, like I posted a few videos and I kind of jumped off, and then I was like, what is this? And then I was like, all right, this is what I'm going for. And like at the off-grid property, I remember you hitting me up and be like, yeah, I'd like to come out and this and that. And it's like, I think it was more on my end that it didn't happen, because I'm like, I feel very weird you coming out. Like I have nothing to offer. Like I'm fully off grid, like I'm in a tent, like, and I felt bad because it's like, we've gone camping, we've done stuff, but like still I'm like, you're going to drive up to Oklahoma from Texas and like you have to rough it. You have to like literally rough it. And like I felt weird about it and stuff. But
I was prepared, like, because I knew I was watching.
Yeah.
I knew what was going on.
But as a host, I was like, I feel like I'm letting you down.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
finally being here now, for the first time, and I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like awesome it is strange, and like I'm like everyone that watches pretty much knows. Like I try to like push people into like, you should start a channel, you should do this, you should
we're gonna crack open another one.
I was trying not to like if there, I'll take one. I didn't know where the little cooler was, but. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I always felt like weird, like hosting, or like I never really had a whole lot of people out at the off grid, And so like he being here now, like whenever we were texting, and I remember like I said something, and I was like, yeah, if you ever want to come, you're like, what about this date? And I'm like, oh shit, this is like getting real. Mm-hmm. Like you gave me a date, and then you're like, do I have like a warm place to sleep? And like, Danielle was like, oh, I gotta work, and I was like, yeah, the camper. Like, it's not weird, you know what I mean? Like, if she was here, it might be, like, slightly awkward sleeping in the same little spot. Like, it's a small camper. Would you poop in front of her?
It was right by the poo-poo.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it makes it a little weird, but...
The door situation is a little...
you got to hold your foot.
Awkward.
It doesn't close. And I told him, I said, just stick your foot under the door and hold it.
The door and hold it up. So you're literally sitting there taking care of business, and you got to stick your little toes under the door and hold it.
That's why Danielle's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, go outside, but it's like, it's a very intimate little spot. And so like, whenever you were like,
but we're men, we can handle it.
Yeah. I just poop out and you lean against one tree, I'll lean against the other, but like, you're like, yeah, I like to come up like this date and stuff. And I was just like, perfect, let's do this. And, normally I would be pretty nervous having people out, but like with you, like I really wasn't. I was just like, nah, you'll get it. Like I'm not gonna like try to go do crazy stuff and like try to do over the top, like clean everything perfect. Like there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done around here. But like I was just like, you know what? No, we've known each other forever and stuff. Like I don't need to like impress. You know what I mean? I don't need to like go do crazy stuff and like you said you'd be here around like, I don't know, it was like 6 o'clock or something. It'd be dark whenever you got here. And I was like, all right, like I know you well enough. You'll probably get here about that. You got here right on the dot,
I got
dude.
Right at 6.
And I drove to the front. I
saw your lights and I was like, that's him.
Yeah, dude. I like, because the way our road is like just kind of like a hill. And I saw like, I drove up, I went up there 15 minutes early. And then I was like, I'll just drive up there just in case you get here a little early, whatever. And then I heard coyotes howling and it sounded close. So I hauled ass back to where like the farm animals are. And of course they were like further away than what I thought. And then so I went to the front and I looked and I was like, oh, he'll probably be, all right, we got like 5 minutes till or whatever. We'll see. And dude, on the dot, I saw this glow coming. I was like, it's him. It's you. And then like you pulled up and it's just like literally like back. Like there was we didn't skip a beat.
What up, big dog?
Yeah, we jumped in the camper, warmed up, got some drinks, started talking, and then like, I mean,
and
it
more
just,
drinks.
Oh, dude.
And another.
Drink after
and
drink.
Another.
We got to talking, and
some of us were hurting this morning a little bit.
Some of us was you. No, but I needed a nap.
Yeah.
whenever
Oh, yeah.
at that point. But like, yeah, you got a little rough.
Yeah.
Little rough.
Yeah. Little tore up.
Yeah. In a good way though. Like I don't think like
It wasn't that bad.
no, we didn't go to bed like all stumbling or nothing. Like, I honestly like I woke up feeling better than I thought I would after like seeing the cans and stuff. But like it just felt good. Like we talked about stuff over the last like 7 years that we haven't talked about. And like we just, just like this stuff that we talked about.
I feel like you got to give me a like you filled in all the missing pieces.
Little rundown. Yeah.
You gave me like the lowdown of all the time that we've been apart.
Yeah. And I feel like we're just back. Like we're there. And like we're talking about this like at during the live chat or right after the live chat and stuff. Like I've been through some stuff. I've been through some trenches.
No,
yeah. Like I've lived a rough couple of years. Like I've done stuff, and like this weekend was just like I needed this. Like I mean, it lit a fire into my butt. Like I'm pumped. I got someone positive around. Like we're just talking about old stuff, like future stuff. We're like, how weird is that? And I don't know if it's just the way our brains think or whatever, or what, like we're on this like natural high, like all this, like whatever. But like we started talking about like future plans, future stuff. We're already talking like the Texas 200 for next year. We're talking about YouTube stuff. We're talking about just different things. And like, it's crazy. We haven't seen each other in so long.
And that's how our friendship has like always been. Really.
It's wild.
Anytime we're together, it's always, what are we working on? What's next?
Yeah.
Like what project is coming down the pike or whatever.
And no one really knows this. I've never really talked too much about any of this stuff, but we lived in an apartment, and you lived in an apartment down the street, and we'd hang out like almost every day. We were both into like music and stuff, and we would stay up till like 4 o'clock in the morning playing music. But like it was always like I was learning more on the side of like, how do I make the audio sound better, recording? And you were like, all right, I'm going to like learn how to write songs, like this and that. We would stay up forever, and we'd be like, all right, how do we make this song sound better? How do we do this? And like, not that we were like trying to like do anything crazy, but like we always like, even if it was just for fun, we were trying to make it the best we could.
Yeah, we were just trying to just build something the best that we could.
Yeah,
with the abilities that we had at the time.
Whether it was for fun or to try to do something. And I remember
we weren't recording songs thinking
we were going to be the number one hit.
He's going to pick this up.
Yeah, no. Like you started doing like some country music stuff. You learned how to play like the harmonica. Now I'm not trying to call you out in front of your parents or nothing, but we did a live cover of a song. Do you remember?
What?
We did Kate Hudson.
Oh,
we did it live, and we made it sound live. Am I about to call you out in front of your parents watching this? Maybe.
Nah, go for it.
Yeah, and we said that we like played a show and recorded it. Like we made it sound live, and like, but it was just stuff like that. There was like, can we make this sound live and make it sound legit? And I think we did.
Oh yeah, we had Matt and Jared were in the background with beer
bottles, clinking beer bottles. Yeah, like we made it sound legit, but it was just we were always challenging herself to do stuff. And like I think Danielle, like anytime I say, hey, I'm gonna challenge myself, like the pole barn build that I'm doing, I'm like, I'm gonna challenge myself to do that myself. I don't want anyone else to do it myself. I think that kind of does a little something for her. I think she gets excited. Like she's like, yeah, he's like challenging himself.
Yeah.
Like that's when I'm at my like peak. I'm like, I'm in there. I'm doing something. I'm like, I'm gonna challenge myself, because everybody will get to the point where they'll be like, I'll just do enough. I'll just coast. I'll do whatever. But like when you can start challenging yourself, like that's such a good feeling. And then like tonight, like this podcast won't come out the same day, but like tonight we went live, and I said before, I was like, it would be, you don't understand how cool it'd be if you hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this live chat. And we went live, and I would just like set it in there, and y'all watching made it happen. We had a little challenge, and y'all made it happen. Yeah. Like, how crazy is that? Like, you had 700 something subs, and you're over 1,000. Yeah. Like it's just like little challenges, like they mean the world. Like it's just
I remember
crazy.
the first sub.
Was it someone you knew or like a random person?
It was like my mom. Yeah.
It was my mom.
But it was the
first. Yeah. That's funny.
And it always starts at 1. You know,
you got to start.
When you first see it, it starts at 1.
That's right.
And then I've had the channel for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And seeing it with a 1 with a couple zeros
Yeah.
behind it now, it's like, oh man, that is so cool.
Like now do you feel we'll kind of get into this,
and
I'm
not making money off my channel or anything.
Yeah, you're not
like,
even monetized yet or anything, but
I'm excited. Like,
yeah.
you know, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And like this kind of just goes into like what makes a happy person. Goals, achieving goals, whatever, you know, it's you need to be working towards something.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be working towards something.
Yeah, you need something. And we've kind of talked about this in the past, and I know Daniela and I have talked about it, but like we want to set it up to where like Daniela and I know like, okay, 4 months from now we're going to go on vacation. You have to have something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where people like, get in a bad mindset because like they don't have something they're working for, you know, and it could be like you, like the Texas 200, it's 6 months from now. But guess what? We're already talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning.
Yeah. And so, like, everybody needs something that they can have that they're looking forward to. And when you don't have that, that's when you can get in a slump. And I think people get into that. They're like, oh, I just worked this 9 to 5. I'm going to go work this. I have nothing going for me. And this goes back to when we used to hang out back in the day. We would have family night. And we would go to a restaurant, and every week on a certain day, we called it family night, and the little wolf pack.
Oh, yeah.
We would get together. Yeah, there you go.
You have to lift the
you
finger.
have to like, ta. Yeah, you can't hold it down.
I'm getting it,
You're
Danielle.
getting it. You're getting it. Yeah, Danielle was like, all right, that was... There you go. But we would have something, like we would show up, and we would talk, and like you'd be like, man, my band, we have a show. We're going to go record this and that. Austin's like, yeah, I'm moving up in the company. I'm doing this. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm working, you know, doing Crocker creation. I'm learning video stuff. I'm doing stuff for Bowling. Like, you have to have something that, like, gets you excited. You have to have something you're looking forward to. And when you don't, you'll get in these slumps, and then you'll start looking at other people and being like, I don't like that you're doing something good. I don't like that. You know, and it's like to stay around people that are positive, and that's what Danielle and I talk about a lot is you're the company you keep. And it's like this,
exactly.
what's the saying? Like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like...
There's a whole bunch of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, yeah. And I'll butcher all of them. I'll get them all wrong. But it's like, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And for whatever reason, you're here. And you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, we're back. Like, the wolf pack is back, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like at this point, I needed that fire under my butt more than ever. And here it is. And like, Danielle was like, I love her to death. She, like, I needed her in my life. And she said, I think it was text this morning, like right or when we were napping, I was texting her and stuff, or right before I started napping.
Our old man power nap.
Yeah. I text her. She's like, how's it going? This and that. She's like, we need to get, once we get power, we'll have it set up and we'll have Austin come out too, get the wolf pack back together. And like, that's my fiance.
I like Danielle.
Yeah. Like, she's like, let's get the wolf pack back together. Like, and I'm like, I love you. You know what I mean? Like, but she gets it. Like, she gets it. And it's like, to have that group, like to have people around you and they're doing stuff, they're making moves and it's positive. Like, that's what you need. And it's like the universe put it in play to where like, I needed you now, man. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm in this weird.
And I'm here.
Yeah. I answered it. Everyone's like, I'm gonna subscribe to this weird stuff.
Like, what is going on in this podcast?
Bromance. Danielle's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, she's like, no, wolf pack, disassemble, you know. But like, I felt like I needed this in life right now. I needed this, and it's weird that it worked out at this time. And like I haven't felt this in a long time. I haven't felt this spark, this drive. Like, I'm like, you leave tomorrow, and I'm gonna be like, like, let's build, let's do this. I'm gonna be hitting you up. Hey man, when are you putting your video out? When are you like, well, you gotta come back. We gotta do podcasts. Like, I'll bring the podcast stuff down there. Like, let's do this. Like I am fired up. Like, I'm pumped, man.
You know what's interesting too is like knowing I was coming down here and everything. I think we were kind of like thinking like, oh, well, I may do, well, we've talked about it, where I may do a little bit of a video series, like being out here and stuff.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is like, I've been out here this whole time. I haven't picked up my GoPro. Once.
No, I didn't.
You haven't picked up a camera once.
This is the first time that we're like making
have
this
an actual camera in front of our faces.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, except for the live on the phone.
Yeah, it's a little different. But like, that's how I know that what you say is legit, because I've been on YouTube for a long time, and sometimes the first thing they do is pop out a camera, and I'm like, all right, your intentions are. They're not it, you know, and it's like
it's like, no, I want to come see my friend.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
well,
I brought the camera.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
thinking like, yeah, I'll film some stuff too.
But we just started.
But the number one.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is, so you showed up on Friday at 6 p.m. and Friday 7 p.m. is when I normally go live. And I thought about it. I almost texted you and were like, hey, if you have the energy, like, you mind going live when you get here? You got here and I was like, not going live. Let's talk.
Yeah.
You know, and we just talked and we had a good time and all that. Then I was just like, let's just go live tonight. You know, it's Saturday, whatever, let's go live. And like, it worked out and it was great. And it's just like, that's how I know your intentions are true. They're pure. They're there's very few people out there that I trust. And it's like, I'll give a little shout out to my homies out there, like Matt Payne, like on YouTube. Like, he doesn't really do YouTube anymore. But Colbier Ranch, like, there's people like that I like, you know, like that's who I trust when it comes to YouTube. It's few and far between.
Just good, honest, legit people.
Yeah. And it's like little mullet dude.
Good intention. People.
Yeah, like stuff like that. And it's just like it's rare, and we haven't hung out in years, and instantly, like, I just knew, like, it's just right back to what it was. And like, I mean, we could talk about this forever, but it's just like, I needed this, and I felt like the universe just like made it happen. And it's like, again,
no, I needed this too. You know, I needed to like reconnect with a friend. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and what's it's sad,
and with COVID and everything that's happened, like that really has kind of shifted. You know, a lot of people's lives have changed because of COVID. Yeah, you know, and I am very much more now. Seclusive, you know, or seclusive.
I feel like reclusive is like a spider.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Seclusive, I think. They don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, and I feel like it just all comes together. And like, one thing that's sad that like it's the reality of life and getting older. But like, our buddy Austin. I don't want to say too much. Like, no one knows him. He's moving. He's gonna move to like another state, and it's like you thought about it, and I thought about it. We're like, oh man, that's moving away. But it's like, we're older. We don't hang out every day like we used to. We don't. Like, you still can have that friendship. You still can have that connection. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Like, we're adults now. Jump on a plane, get in the car, go drive, go do stuff. And the reality is, we're 4 hours apart. That's nothing.
Not even. Like, 3 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah, like it that's nothing. I would drive an hour and a half to go see Danielle and drive an hour and a half back. I could drive down to Dallas, you know? And it's like, you know, Tom and Rhonda, like, they live down there, like, stuff like that. It's like, let's make this happen. Let's do this. Let's like I needed this friendship back. I needed stuff like that. And it's like, I feel like I'm sad Danielle's not here right now.
I am too.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish Ashley was here right now. I wish all four of us were just shooting the shit, just having fun. Like they're both here right now.
That's right.
They're here in koozies. But like stuff like I'm excited for like my fiance to meet you. Like, you're a lifelong friend. Like, you're one of my best friends, and like, to have you here and to be on it's an honor. You're the first guest we've ever had on a podcast. Like,
I am honored to be here.
I don't think it'll ever happen, but one day there might be a plaque back there that says the Crockers Unleashed podcast, and you're the first guest to ever be on it. Like
not there might be there
one
will be.
day, it may be a while, but like that's an honor. Like that's like it's such a cool feeling. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, and I feel like we've been talking for 50 minutes. 50 minutes. You said on the live chat, I don't even know if we could fill up 30 minutes. We just did a 50-minute podcast. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like doing another one. You want to do another one?
Let's do it.
All right. Guys, check in tomorrow, and we're going to do another podcast. Maybe we'll dive a little deeper on our past. Maybe we'll dive into some stories. Maybe we'll dive, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had something on my thought. You were talking about something. I was like, oh, I'm going to go into this.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure out what it is. We have a lot going on. Yeah. So we're going to take a break.
There's a lot to talk about, folks.
And I got to pee so bad. So we're going to take a break. We'll see you tomorrow on the podcast. I'll upload them day after day, and we'll jump back into it. But dude, freaking hell yeah, man.
This is awesome.
Hell yeah. So we'll catch you on the next one. It's going to get spicy, baby.
Spicy.
Oh.
Take it easy.
Yeah.